Welcome to a video cast from RC Noob, and today I want to talk about shocks. And shocks are kind of an integral part to your RC vehicle. And there's many different types of shocks that you can get. I went from the stock shock setup that I had on my Traxxas Slash to this set from Proline. And I'll just go over some of the details, or some of the differences here between the stock Traxxas shock and these ones from Proline. The ones from Proline are adjustable by this threaded ring, so I can easily adjust. Not to say that adjusting the Traxxas suspension was difficult. You just had these rings or clips to put in, slide in to make the spring stiffer or more soft, depending on how you wanted the suspension to handle. But so those are, I think, the main differences. Is just the ease of adjustment. But these the Proline shocks are from what I've seen, really nice. I have yet to bolt them on, but I can already tell, just by playing around with them, I can adjust them to be quite stiff or to be a little more forgiving, depending on what I want to do. Whereas these, standard shocks went down fairly quick and fairly easy. So, just a real, I think an easy performance upgrade that you can make is to upgrade your shocks, but I don't really think it's a necessary change. These from Proline, if you're going to get the Proline performance shocks, they're going to run you about, I think, $52 for a set. So you're looking at $100, over $100 to upgrade all your shocks. Now you can get it cheaper from other places. I know you can go to like the barnfloor.com and get them for, I think, $37, $38, around there. I ended up getting these from Proline. I actually won a $100 gift certificate from them, so thank you, Proline, for picking my name. So otherwise, I don't think I would have gotten these. So, at least from Proline, or maybe I wouldn't have even gotten them at all, but since I was looking at no cost to myself, I figured I'd splurge a little bit and get some nice shocks, and I also upgraded my tires and wheels, and I'll be showing those off at a later episode. So let's go ahead and get these mounted. Alright, so before we mount things, I just want to give you a view of what it looks like without a rear shock. As you can see, they're important. You need to have them. So what I'm going to be doing is bolting it on up here to what's basically the body mount, and then bolt it down to this A-arm. So, and you can see the other stock shocks are still on there. I'm not touching the fronts at this point. I'm just strictly going to replace the rear shocks. So we're going to go ahead and get that done. You see, there's some other components moving around here. You see, I am running the Slash sway bar system, and it is running, I think, the stiffest bar that comes with that kit. So it's not sagging as much as it could be. But let's go ahead and get these shocks on, and we'll see how we can adjust them. Alright, so we've got the shocks both installed, and everything went pretty smooth. No real issues. I mean, shocks are pretty easy to deal with anyway, at least from what I've found. And I've had to rebuild the stock shocks already, and I've done some adjusting on their placement. As you can see, I think stock position is middle hole here on this top post, and one of the middle holes in the bottom post, but I've moved it out to lower the back end of the Slash down to try to decrease body roll. So anyway, I've put the new shocks into the same position I had the stock shocks set up in, and everything went smooth there. I will add one more little tidbit that I forgot to mention. When you get these shocks, if you do decide to get the new ones off the shelf, basically, and I don't know if this is the same way for the ones that Traxxas makes or not, if you just get the packaged Traxxas shocks, but you do need to fill them with oil. They don't come filled with oil. And again, that's not that big of a process either. I think it took me maybe 10 minutes at most, and again, I've had experience doing that, having had to rebuild the stock shocks as well. So, now it's time to for me to just adjust on the shocks and get them back to where I had the stock ones set up. I was running them a little stiffer in the rear end. I don't want to get the back end too high, but I do want the back end to be nice and a little more responsive and stiff. So I'm going to tweak those to my liking and get it outside and see how it runs, and hopefully do some more follow-up after I put it through its paces.